What's up guys, you're watching Sneaker News on YouTube, and today we're going to unbox both colorways of the Union X Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG. Let's go. So as you guys know, Jordan Brand did a collaboration with Union Los Angeles. For those of you who are not too aware, Union LA is a sneaker slash streetwear boutique based in LA. It is owned by Chris Gibbs. And Chris is, of course, one of the quote-unquote OGs of the downtown New York street style scene, for lack of a better term. You know, he's been part of the original group that brought in that kind of style to New York. And of course, that sort of spread out all across the globe. Again, you know, Union's been around for a while. They've done collaborations with Nike in the past. So this is definitely not something new to them at all. Again, the Air Jordan 1, one of the most revered shoes of all time. And in 2018, the Air Jordan 1 was definitely one of the most talked about shoes of the year. You know, Jordan dropped so many colorways. There were so many collaborations, you know, the Unions, the Nigel Sylvesters, you have the Soulfly joints. So this right here is being touted as potentially the shoe of the year. So it really depends on your personal style, if you like Air Jordan 1s or not, if you kind of like new colorways or these sort of old school homages. It's really up to the person, but the quality on these are great, the colorways and the concept is great. So we're going to take some time to look at both colorways one by one, and we'll start with the blue. So Chris Gibbs, he was obsessed with the whole idea of, you know, the vintage thrift kind of look. You know, he liked weathered materials. He brought in that look to designing the Air Jordan 1. The first thing he did was he referenced 4 OG colorways of the Air Jordan 1, 2 of them which are featured here. And the bottom portion of the shoe, which is the blue and the white, is the Storm Blue colorway. It is an OG colorway that doesn't really get talked about too much. The Storm Blue did come back as a Retro High OG in 2017, I believe. So it's kind of like on the radar. And of course, the top portion of the shoe is a reference to the original black red band colorway. And what they did was they added this exaggerated stitch right here at the ankle, because he wanted to give the shoe a look that it was someone who found, you know, these shoes at a vintage store and they literally cut and sewed them together, almost like someone made their own shoes. So again, that was a big part of the vintage, the thrift store scene, where people would just kind of make their own clothing. And, you know, thrifting, of course, is a huge part of today's, you know, street style these days. A lot of secondhand stores are just gaining so much prominence right now. Of course, there's like the yellow midsole. There's the yellow laces to kind of add to that whole aged effect. And then we got to mention that the leather on these are really soft, really nice, almost as if they're a pair of OGs. And even on the ankle on the upper, it is a suede, but he basically wanted to sort of replicate the whole like worn out leather. If you own a pair of OG ones, you know that the ankle is one of the first parts to go. The leather starts to crack and crumble, and then it gets soft, and it's not a suede, but it kind of feels like this sort of felty sort of suede material. And another little detail is that they added the exposed sponge in the inside of the tongue. People might point to Off-White making that popular, but Nike's been doing that for ages, and it definitely fits in with this particular style. Of course, there's a few extra sets of laces that came with the shoes. You have this yellow, you have a set of white and the black. Just to show you this side, you can clearly see there's the Union LA flap that's just right under the wings. The wings logo is even bigger than what you see in current retros as well. So a nice little touch. Of course, the outsole is also the same Storm Blue. And it comes with the hang tag, which is the Jumpman, and the Union store name done in the OG Flight font. So again, a nice little touch. And on the insole, there's almost like a design sketch blueprint of how the shoe was designed, which is actually inside the box. Came with this old school style box with all the old ads and sketches. And the inside tissue has that same print, where basically it's how they wanted to design the shoe. So nice little touch. Again, of course, sneaker releases are getting, you know, fully thorough. It's not only the shoes, but they're also going to, you know, do stuff with the packaging and whatnot. So now we're going to show you the second pair, the one that's the black toe with the white and the gray. So this is the second colorway that they did. You know, it comes with the same shoe box and the same tissue, so we're not gonna really spend time on that. But we'll talk about the colorways that you see here. First, it's the black toe colorway, the one that has the black toe, the collar, and has the red on the heel with the white midfoot and the toe box. And on the upper part, they reference another OG colorway, the one that's white and neutral gray or natural gray. This is an OG colorway of an Air Jordan 1 that still has not been given the Retro High OG treatment. So again, it's like a nice little nod to the OG ones. And if you're a collector of OG ones, you know, you gotta appreciate this little call out. Of course, the same details that you see in the earlier pair, the same Union LA flap that's under the enlarged wings. You have the exposed stitching in blue. Of course, it's also on the tongue. Same yellowed midsoles that kind of add to that vintage effect. One small detail that plays a pretty big role in kind of adding to that whole vintage aesthetic is on the upper panels, you'll see this sort of yellowed border that goes along the edges of the panels. It kind of gives it that aged, old 30-year-old look because, you know, the Jordan 1s are at this point almost 33 years old. But yeah, again, the same, they treated suede, they made it look like and feel like it's been old and used. The insole has the same insole as you see in the previous one. It's just a print of what's inside the tissue paper. You got that same Jumpman logo with a Union script and the old school flight logo. This pair came with extra set of yellow laces too, so pretty interesting way to color block these. Some people are kind of calling these like another take on the top 3 ones, but there are 4 Air Jordans in this. Instead of doing an alternate color blocking, they decided to just literally chop a shoe in half and add the stitching. The stitching is clearly a cosmetic thing. They didn't actually chop off 2 shoes and stitch them together, but it still kind of achieves that effect. Now, again, bringing these back in real quick. As we mentioned, they both dropped in November. The blue pair was exclusive to Union. Dropped first on November 17th. And both pairs actually dropped at Union on November 17th. However, if you guys participated in that release, it was a bit botched. People got their shoes. Some people had their orders canceled because the server just sort of determined that they were bots when they were not. Union re-released the shoes on the 24th. And globally, this black toe version released worldwide. It was Nike sneakers and select retailers worldwide. So a super limited release. Currently the resale prices for these are just kind of going up and up. Jordan 1s are one of the very few Air Jordan models right now that kind of have a resale market at this point. So the black pair is kind of going for around $700 to $800. The storm blue version is going for around $1,000. So if you got a pair at retail, you're definitely lucky. If you're gonna wear them, good for you. If you're not, you're in for a little bit of profit. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of talk about these being the shoe of the year. It really depends on, you know, the person. You know, there's a lot of shoes that came out in 2018 and there's several shoes that deserve to be in that conversation. And the Union AJ1 is definitely one of them because it's a call out to the history of the Air Jordan 1. It sort of pays homage to 4 different colorways in a very unique way. And they didn't just add colors, they, you know, took some time to treat the materials, kind of create that whole aged look. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this closer look at this collaboration. If there's anything more you want to see, let us know, and, you know, let us know in the comments which of the 2 colorways you would rather like to have. And of course, subscribe, do us a quick favor, and we'll catch you next time.